Have you ever been so stressed out you just thought, man, I really need a good laugh? Well, what if that wasn't just, a saying? What if you could actually prove, scientifically, that laughter is a powerful weapon against stress? Okay, let's dive into this really fascinating study that asks that exact question. So, believe it or not, this whole deep dive started with a picture of a university assignment. Yup, someone, somewhere, had to analyze this scientific paper for a grade. But what they were studying was so cool, we knew we had to break it down for you. It's a seriously formal look at a surprisingly simple idea. And the people in this study, well, they're dealing with assignments and pressures that are on a completely different level. We are talking about nursing students.
Yeah, becoming a nurse is absolutely no walk in the park. It's this intense juggling act, right? You've got all the heavy-duty classroom theory on one side, and then you've got the real-world clinical practice on the other, where the stakes couldn't be higher. The stress they're under is immense, and it really affects their learning and their well-being.
And what's so revealing here are the types of stress they're dealing with. The research shows it's not just about passing exams. I mean, think about it. It's the huge responsibility of caring for real sick people. It's that constant fear of making a mistake that could actually harm someone. On top of that, you've got a crushing workload, and you're learning to communicate with doctors, staff, and patients for the very first time. That is a massive emotional and mental load to carry. So, with all that weighing on them, researchers wanted to try out a potential solution. And, well, it's probably not what you're thinking. It sounds almost too simple to be true, doesn't it? Could the antidote to this deep academic and clinical stress really be found in something we do every single day? That's the big question here. But we're not talking about just any laughter. We're talking about a very specific, structured kind. Enter laughter yoga. Now, this isn't about binge watching your favorite comedian. It is an active exercise. The whole idea is to combine intentional, unconditional laughter. And that means you laugh for literally no reason at all, with the kind of deep, controlled breathing you'd learn in a yoga class. So what does one of these sessions actually look like? Well, first you start with some deep breathing to get everyone settled and centered. Then you move into some warm-ups, like rhythmic clapping, to build up the energy in the room. Now, here's the really wild part. You play these almost childlike games and do specific laughter exercises to get everyone going, but without telling a single joke. The whole point is that your body doesn't actually know the difference between fake, forced laughter and the real thing. Then it all wraps up with a calming meditation. Okay, this all sounds pretty fun, but does it actually do anything for stress? I mean, really? That's where the science comes in. Let's take a look at how these researchers put it to the test. To get a real answer, a team at a university in Turkey set up what's considered the gold standard in scientific studies, a randomized controlled trial. This is pretty much the best way we have to figure out if an intervention, in this case laughter yoga, is actually causing the effect you see. So here's what they did. They took about 100 first-year nursing students and randomly split them into two groups. Group 1, the experimental group, got to attend 2 laughter yoga sessions a week for 4 weeks. Group 2, the control group, did, well, nothing different at all. They just went about their usual, incredibly stressful lives as nursing students. Now, both groups had their stress and anxiety levels measured before the experiment started and again after the 4 weeks were up. The researchers then crunched the numbers, and what they found was pretty amazing. This is the moment of truth, right? After all that clapping and intentional laughing, did these nursing students in the yoga group actually feel any less stress? The answer was a huge, resounding yes. The students who did the laughter yoga showed a major drop in both their stress and their anxiety scores. And the control group, well, their scores barely even budged. So the key takeaway here is that the intervention made a clear, measurable difference. In fact, to put a number on it, the study found that laughter yoga was 2.6 times more effective at reducing their overall stress compared to doing nothing. I mean, that is not a small difference. That is a massive impact from something so simple and so cheap. And this chart just shows it plain as day. They used a scale to measure stress, and on this scale, a lower score is better. It means less stress. The laughter yoga group ended up with an average score of around 58. The control group, the ones who didn't get to laugh it out, they finished with an average score over 80. You can literally see the power of the laughter yoga right there in the data. So what does all of this really mean? What's the big takeaway from this kind of quirky-sounding experiment? Well, the researchers' own conclusion is super direct and really powerful. They state that yes, laughter yoga can and should be used as an effective tool for helping nursing students manage their stress. It's basically a validated new tool for their wellness toolkit. And here is why this is so important for all of us, not just nursing students. This study proves that the physical act of laughing, even when you're faking it, even when it's simulated in an exercise, can trigger real positive changes in your body and your mind. It actually lowers stress hormones like cortisol and releases those feel-good endorphins. It's an accessible, totally free tool that any of us can use. And that just leaves us with one last, really interesting question to think about. That old saying, fake it till you make it, well, it seems to have a real scientific basis when it comes to laughter. So it just makes you wonder, what other simple, powerful, maybe even silly-sounding physical actions could we be using to fundamentally change our mental state for the better? Definitely something to think about.